front. But you have the Thunder Lane with the 2 to 3.
Yeah, because after you win
now.
that double face-off, you're getting that Diligent a second time.
Oh, that's unusual if that's the starting problem.
Interesting.
Yeah, if that's the starting problem, I'm wondering what this deck might be. Like, that makes me question everything just because it's like, that's smaller than usual. I know why, actually. I know why they would run that. It's so they could just
confront with just the main. Yeah,
that might be it.
If they go for the first part of the start, we were saying, if they get that Starlight Glimmer, if they get that Starlight Troublemaker and they're able to move up their main turn 2, and there is a villain as well that they can challenge. If they kill the villain, that main is flipped, and they are confronting Concerning Cutie Mark with just the main.
Now, thing that we didn't we covered One Punch Man, what it can do, what it's really strong at. As far as this kind of probably walking nightmare deck, it's able to turn over the main, which isn't too effective against One Punch Man, but it's also able to create a very stagnating board state. If it gets, I think we see a Changeling Throne. Yeah, there's a Changeling Throne in there. That's
missing
interesting.
purple Aoizotl. We got some.
Oh wow, this is very
purple blue. Interesting.
Purple blue with white splash.
Was there a throne? Was that a
throne?
Yeah,
that's a throne, I believe.
Okay, we're looking to the throne. This is
okay. So who knows now? It is a mystery.
all that out the window. Alrighty.
Okay, but maybe it still does One Punch Man stuff. It definitely seems like it would try. I think I saw a burst of speed in there, and if that's it, then there's Thunder Lane is in, and that's
if all of that is true. Then again, the starting problem makes sense with what we were saying.
Yeah, but okay, back to Walking Nightmare.
Yes.
The thing about it. When I saw the builds that were at regionals, it didn't have Carbo Loader, and I don't know if that might have been, a purposeful choice. Maybe they're like, I want to have a farm tool, so that's why I'm using Moon Dancer instead. But I feel like Carbo Loader was probably the superior choice in that respect. Wow, what an interesting deck! It has Prim, it has the Schmooze.
I'm seeing Smooze, so okay. If there's Smooze, it's tricolor at least.
Okay, I'm seeing a Biff. I might see a Paper Twy.
Yeah, I'm having a little.
Oh no,
bit
that's
of
a
trouble.
Scootaloo. That's a Scootaloo,
Scootaloo?
and those are
Okay.
for ruining points.
And that is if this rainbow is a farm deck indeed, and we've seen Aoizotl already.
Yeah,
we're
already seeing the Starlight Glimmer Aoizotl.
Then
look, we have a Discord Pandemonium.
Interesting. Okay, double
Wow,
trouble.
he's going to try and farm that potentially. Interesting. I think this gentleman might be like, combo's going to be in here. I'm going to throw this Discord Pandemonium thing because that with Nightmare Moon are really good options.
Those kind of cards that Starlight Villain, that Pandemonium. Nightmare Moon, very disruptive to combo deck, so definitely not a bad choice, at least for a tournament of this scale. Smaller scale tournament, I might be a little skeptical.
Oh, I see a Spike.
So we've got Pay to Draw.
Interesting.
Probably to try to go over hand limit to turn over that main.
I see a bailout, so he's probably waiting for the opportunity. He's assuming that the Nightmare Moon isn't there, and he's waiting for oh wait, no, why would he pay then? Why did he pay to draw? That's peculiar. Because I would have saved my AT and just bailed out at the opportune moment where my opponent's attempting to farm to kind of hopefully maybe stop them. And I guess he's maybe playing bailout? Or did he go over hand limit? No, I don't understand what's going on right now.
He should have had 6 cards in hand at the start, 7 to draw.
Yeah.
7 with his natural draw, paid 1 to drop to 8. He wouldn't be at hand limit. I think we might have seen a misplay already, or we totally missed something potentially.
And that's one of the difficult things about this is that we're kind of just playing by eyesight, and we might be missing a little bit of information. But
all right, so we got these.
All right, so we're gonna see Starlight Glimmer over
there's
there.
That Starlight we were talking about, and he's going to try to challenge this Discord here, probably.
Perhaps farm decks are gravitating towards Pandemonium as their kind of anti-combo tool because they're afraid of the Orange Luna. Because if that was a Nightmare Moon, then he would have just been down to 1 card.
He would have been able to flip immediately.
What an interesting deck this gentleman is running, though.
He's challenging already. That's interesting. Okay,
and that was a fail.
Him.
But it's actually not much of a cost at all because he's just going to be able to exhaust his main to move it back over. But it would have been nice to win, I'm sure.
Of course.
Yeah, it would have been nice to flip another Discorder if he has a Nightmare Moon. But we'll see what
we're
this.
seeing Prim, so that will probably ensure him being able to kill that Pandemonium on this coming turn.
Yep. Okay, so
and then he will be able to confront Concerning Cutie Mark with just the main there.
We're
Okay,
seeing
what was the draw?
Is that a factory jack?
I would not be surprised.
Yeah, in which case I would have played that immediately. But I don't know.
Crazy for.
Okay. Oh, there's the
card beaten by that Pandemonium at the start of the Troublemaker phase.
Okay, so this guy's running a very similar build to the one that we saw at Gen Con last year.
We've got Cheerilees. It looks like it's purple-orange. We've got the Factory Jacks. There's almost certainly Time Loops in there. We know there's a Scootaloo in hand. When that Scootaloo is flipped, its Chaos effect goes off, and that makes it so players cannot score points during that face-off. So that is a big problem for farm decks like this Rainbow here. That Cheerilee is a big problem as well.
Yes, it's very difficult. If farm can't face off at all, then it's really, very like,
yeah, it really can't.
Well, now what do I do?
A lot.
Fortunately, with the mono blue of a One Punch Mare build, I don't know if we should even call this a One Punch Mare deck if it's not mono blue.
Just blue farm.
But we'll say blue farm. So this blue farm deck, it actually has purple, which is nice. Perhaps he was like, you know what, I really just don't feel comfortable with this. Oh, we have a Cheerilee out. He's just gonna hard play the Cheerilee. He's like, it's okay. I have the Scootaloo in my hand. I'm just going to stop you from farming this for now. And that's definitely a legitimate choice. Let's see here. So yeah, he's basically purple, the Walking Nightmare build, which I'm comfortable with stating that that's what this deck is. It's going to just buy the turn, gain more AT. It has the AT advantage. What's really important about control is the sooner you get that lockdown, the more powerful you are. Because
Special Beam Cannon versus
was that other
zap. Flip? Ooh,
that was a zap.
Could be scary. I don't think there's any AT left over at the moment, though, is there?
Yeah, and he's just like, I'm gonna burn the Cheerilee, and
I think that was. Well, I don't know if that was worthwhile or not.
Well,
it only gave him the 1 point. It only would have given him the 1 point.
Well, also he would have been able to confront that problem.
That's true, and that would have been a face-off.
Yeah, and also
7-4.
When it comes to control versus farm, control has the luxury of not needing to get as many troublemakers. It just needs to kind of like, okay, I'm going to play this troublemaker where you're trying to maybe just solo whatever confront. And now I'm just going to play my control game with your epic that you played. So thank you. Let's see what this guy draws. We're seeing a Misfire, which...
Misfire won't do a whole heck of a lot against this farm deck, probably.
Yeah, the only thing that Misfire I think is really relevant when it comes to this... Is he attempting to farm? Yeah, I guess he's going to give it a shot. Oh, no, that's a...
Oh, okay,
sorry.
yeah, no, that's
I keep forgetting.
That
yeah.
card.
So far, nothing
what do we got under there? That
Oh, wow, he actually is using Mark. Oh, wait, no, that makes sense. That's a good option.
Remarkable... 1 cost, 1 wreck, 1 power. You may exhaust it to discard a card from your hand. Exhaust it and discard a card from your hand to reduce the cost of the next card you play that turn by 1. So one thing that card allows you to do is if you get it in your opening hand with this Luna main that we're looking at, you can, on turn 1 or turn 2, drop it, discard something, reduce the cost of something by 1, and then you've still got 1 AT left over to flip over your main and attack your opponent's hand as well.
So we're seeing a Changeling Mimic sitting down, and that's an incredibly powerful
a really
troublemaker.
Strong card. Very strong card.
I love that card. Thank you, Buell, for making it, because
I've been having fun with it. It's pretty fantastic.
It is like one of my favorite cards.
Okay, we're seeing a Special Beam Cannon go. Just a minute ago, a Special Beam Cannon was flipped away during a face-off as well. So that is 2 resources gone from the side of or 2 resource destruction cards gone from the side of the blue
to play the Thunder Lane.
There's the Thunder Lane, so that should that'll probably end it here.
Yeah, and now this guy is in a very good state. He'll probably force a double. Though then that will give... The ball will be in the purple-orange player's court, where he'll be able to go like, okay, well now this troublemaker flips, and that will be hell for you. Pending how many cards you have in your hand, which is not a lot right now. He actually drew into that Thunder Lane, so that's unfortunate for our orange-purple player. Oh wait, he has more cards in his hand now. He has more of a hand. How do you get more of a hand? Oh, it's not that much, actually. I keep thinking that
it's a lot more than it is.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But we might see a forced DFO. Yeah.
All right, there it is.
and that will be 1, 2, 3 points, and that will put him at. He'll have
So we see
a pretty good
Keurig
advantage.
and Aramaspi being flipped.
See, this is one of the reasons why I'm pretty keen on Luna's future, just because it gives you that resource removal. Because I think we saw Special Beam Cannon, correct?
Yeah, we did.
I like Luna's future just quite a bit more because it gives you a little bit more versatility. I think it's worth the AT, and also being able to be like, oh, a Thunder Lane,
That's gone now.
that'll reset, so you don't get your free DFO. No, thank you. But
It's like our looks like our blue player might have forgotten to put that Diligent on his Thunder Lane there after winning that double face-off.
we got a Seeking the Scepter here. I'm wondering what our orange purple player is going to be playing. I think he's probably, or what's he going to be naming? I think it's probably going to be Troublemakers, just to reduce the, you know.
I think that would be a good call. Just slow down the rate at which that Rainbow is able to farm a little bit.
He got his time loop.
Okay, so that is very helpful for him. He's got the wreck for it at the moment. Actually, he is just short on the wreck for that time loop. He is a little short on the purple.
Oh yeah, because of the problem reset.
Yeah, the our Luna player's problem was flipped. It was a Trading Traditions, which gave him the orange, or I'm sorry, the purple to be able to play that Factory Jack. But with that Factory Jack only being 2 power, and that time loop being 3 wreck, we're seeing him being a little short there.
Well, there we go.
Baby
now he has the
Starlight,
stuff.
so that'll add a little bit of
Interesting
power to
choice.
his Troublemakers, so make those a little harder to kill.
Oh wait, that was in the original build too.
Yeah.
And now he has the luxury of just being like, okay, here's an air master.
Cutie marked it, alrighty. Or, yeah. Which he paid 2, and it
now
allowed him to drop a Troublemaker face up through an Air Maspy in front of that Rainbow.
gets an AT.
Kind of a strange choice because his opponent will just be able to run that Thunder Lane up there with that Diligent counter, probably kill it, win the face off, and get that Diligent back, giving him more tokens. So I don't think that was
Plop a...
an optimal play. That said, okay, yeah, actually that time loop's coming out, so we'll be able to...
he opts to put a stronger flip, I think. I think he opted to put the Air Maspia back on top of his deck, which...
Probably not the worst choice.
Like, I think he's more worried about just him just going like, okay, I'm going to move this Thunder Lane over here and just destroy this Changeling Mimics.
Fair enough.
So go
That Thunder Lane, unless there was a real good flip, probably wouldn't be able to kill the Mimics on its own if there's a good flip, and with that Baby Starlight behind it powering it up. Sadly, he doesn't have that Cheerly anymore. I think he threw that onto the board a little bit early. I don't really think it helped him out a whole lot in the long run. Just kind of burned some AT, slowed down his opponent for a turn or two.
a missed opportunity.
I think so.
All right, let's see. Oh, he did put the Scootaloo there.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Interesting, since there were no points to score on Aramaspi. So that Scootaloo, its Chaos ability, makes it so our Rainbow player cannot score any points from that face-off, but there was already a score of 0 on there, so kind of a strange call.
And that Thunder Lane gets even stronger. Very, very scary stuff for the orange-blue player. But he does have... Or the orange-purple player. And he has
Moving over,
a...
we're going to fight that Mimics there.
He still
Flipping away
has
that
some of the
Changeling
tools.
Throne.
Oh.
Oh, another
That
Mimics.
was
That's
a
kind of
that was a
unfortunate.
really strong flip. That's another thing really nice about Mimics is it gives you a 6.
That's very true. Yeah, it's a 6 on a regular Troublemaker with something as low as 1 point, and that ability is very impactful.
So
Especially with the ability to change it on the fly.
I think our orange-purple friend actually won that face-off, which is pretty good for him because that Thunder Lane is growing. But interesting this blue, purple, white kind of
a
mix
kind of
match.
strange combination. It doesn't seem bad at all. Just kind of not something I really run into.
He is
before.
going for that cost. He's paying that big hefty cost, I believe.
It looks like
or maybe he didn't have the cost to have to pay.
It might have been events that were called, possibly. So over on the bottom of the screen there, our Rainbow player is looking at this pile of cards that were banished by the Discord villain earlier, Utter Pandemonium.
That he did get to farm.
He was able to farm that. So those cards that were banished from both players' decks are now available to him to play. He does still have to pay their costs, but they basically don't have a wreck, so he is able to play those cards as if they were in his hand. But since they are not actually in his hand, they are also safe from different kinds of hand attack
Wonder why he
that
feels
this
when he-
Luna is this Luna would be able to offer. So it looks like we're getting a confront here. One more point for our rainbow player.
Now, even though it may seem like this, the Walking Nightmare player. Oh, there's that Cheerly. Even though it may seem like this Walking Nightmare player is really behind, he has all the tools he wants. He has the Cheerly in hand. He has a Factory Jack. He has the Doctor Who's time loop. So he's growing in his board state, which is always important. Always important to keep in mind. Board state in this game is always like your opponent can gain 1,000 AT, but if their options are extremely limited, or if it doesn't really matter how much they throw at you, you're going to flip 25 or whatever.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't really matter how hard you accelerate or how fast you
We're
can
seeing
go.
the
We're seeing the
Cheerly on
play.
the board. That is, I think that's a pretty strange call. He will be able to stop the troublemaker if that.
I guess he wants to.
Interesting. He would have been able to put that Cheerily directly on top of the deck, so that if our rainbow player, if Pancake, as we'll call him, did move that Thunder Lane over to try to destroy that Mimics and score that point, he would just be able to end that face-off by flipping that Cheerily and then do that continuously with that time loop. But he opted to put the Cheerily on the board. He might be looking for another card. He might have something else planned.
Is it? I hope our purple-orange friend isn't Timothy. I hope that Timothy isn't getting too greedy in that he's just like, I just really need to score a point. I haven't scored a point.
I think so, yeah. He does have the... he very much has the potential to be able to bring this back. That is one thing about, I think, an aggro versus a control matchup in tournament. As an aggro player, you can kind of afford to play recklessly because there is a time limit. You don't have to try to win the game. You just have to try to get ahead enough, early enough, and then you have to, as a control player, kind of catch up to that. Lock them out hard enough for long enough that you can either time them out or, limit their options and catch back up.
See, that's a really, really harsh play.
Yeah.
I don't know if perhaps he was assuming. I don't know what our purple-orange player might have been thinking at that point. Like,
yeah, I'm not sure if he was just maybe not ready for it. Maybe he didn't. It's possible he didn't expect something like the Trixie, because it would have eliminated Thunder Lane's ability if our blue player
that
were
was a
to.
really smart play. Well, yeah, I guess it was a fine play, because he just was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to challenge my own Trixie just so I can get the thing that you were trying to whatever on top. Oh, yeah, Thunder Lane. Never mind.
Yep.
It was a good play. He's getting points. And he's getting his Thunder Lane powered up.
Scoring 2 off of that. We're scoring 2 off of that Trixie. The Thunder Lane does not gain diligent counters because that Trixie was removing its ability during that face-off. So we're not getting that diligent this time. That does put us over 7 points at this point, though, so we will now be gaining 4 action tokens per turn. There is only currently 1 face-down troublemaker on the board. Oh, we're seeing a bailout
We're
come
seeing
out.
a bailout now?
Kind of interesting. It will deny points.
But he could have denied. I guess he didn't want the Trixie around.
I think I
was
can see that, because I might have gone for that same thing. That Trixie removing abilities from all friends at that problem was very problematic for that time loop, for that Cheerily. I don't even recall what the other friend over there was.
Yeah, I guess he decided to take that hit. That was actually not a bad play at all.
And just deny him those points, that ability to score. And now there will not be a double face-off. Our
There's that
Luna
Chaos
players. Alrighty, so we do see one of those in there. Our Luna players got his friends up at the problems still, even if frightened, which is pretty problematic for him. But he did buy himself a couple turns.
There's that Changeling
There's
Mimics
that
again.
Mimics. So our Thunder Lane here will stay exhausted for this coming turn as well. So we didn't see the double face-off last turn because of the Thunder Lane, and we will probably not be able to see. We will not see that Changeling Mimics go down on Rainbow's turn, on Pancake's turn either, because that Thunder Lane will remain exhausted. We see the time loop be rallied, exhausted right away. So we're throwing a card on top of the deck. Hoping for...
He's throwing the Chaos Capital.
We're throwing that Chaos Capital on there. That is a very strong call. For those who don't know, that Chaos Capital's Chaos ability, if it is flipped, will turn over both mains, which will allow our Luna player to reactivate his at some point to attack our Rainbow player's hand, and Rainbow will have to reflip. That's not the hardest thing for Rainbow, just a simple challenge. But if Rainbow challenges the Mimics, she'll be unflipped, sent home for probably losing that face-off, and then will also be unflipped. So we're going to be losing some rec. She won't be able to exhaust to move back up, and she's just going to remain unflipped for a little while. So
here goes that Chaos Capital. And there's a changing throne. I think this gentleman's running 3.
That's very possible.
Yeah.
So our Rainbow is back on its start side. Our Luna is back on its start side. We'll get that ability back. That face-off is lost, so that Rainbow is going to be sent home. So it is at home, unable to exhaust to move.
I think they might be forgetting that move the Rainbow Dash home. Make him pay 2 AT to move him back. That's probably a good one. But
yeah, looks like we're forgetting that. That's all right.
Forgetting that. Well, misplays
Tournament
happen.
Nerves.
Yeah, tournament nerves could be a thing
Very
too.
much a thing.
Oh, we see the schmooze.
Schmooze comes out. That'll probably
the adorable schmooze.
Gonna be able to enter.
Oh, what a courteous player! He actually allowed him to move his.
I like seeing that. It especially at a tournament of this level, you know, it's very easy to say sorry you played at the other problem. This is, this is a national tournament.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you did.
Yeah.
I always kind of appreciate it when players are just like, hey, you know what, we all do that. Go for it. Move it over. Play to the other problem.
So long as the other player is also willing to allow that. That's all. The thing that really sours that whole thing is if somebody's like, no, I'm going to hold you to it, even though you didn't hold me to it.
Yeah, that's always a little. I mean, it's a national tournament, so sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But I always appreciate that.
Yeah, sportsmanship and kindness is always nice. We play a game of magic horses. So, all right, so purple-orange is looking like a little bit of recovery is happening here. It's still very behind in the score department, but
we've definitely still got time on the clock. We're not able to see a timer, but I'd guess we still got probably about 20 minutes, I think.
He's getting that Chaos Capital back into his hand. He's probably not going to put it on top of his deck, though.
I don't think he'll set it up there right away. We probably will see him attempt to attack Pancake's hand, though, by discarding in some form, allowing him to pay to flip his main, which will allow him to, again, attack our blue player's hand. Got that cheerily on the board still, so that will be able to end this coming face-off on this turn. If our Rainbow player decides to try to challenge that Mimics.
Paying the AT.
One kind of nice side effect of those friends having been frightened earlier is that the Starlight, that is a second copy we see get played just now, is no longer cutie marked, so he will be able to pay to reactivate that ability if he needs to at some point. It doesn't look like we'll see that for at least a couple turns, but that option is there.
I think our purple-blue farm player is only gaining 3 AT.
That is possible. You might not realize that they're as high as they are. I think I see a portal in hand on purple-blue's side, so that's kind of interesting. I don't know what they would portal at the moment. We do have one frightened friend over on that side, so portaling that would unfear it and allow him to move it. So that's kind of a nice play if they need to. Again, we got that cheerily on the board. I don't believe Chaos Capital is on top of the deck at the moment, is it?
No, I think that the Scootaloo is on there.
Okay.
So let's see. Yep.
We got that Scootaloo
and
there.
Now is it trashed? Trashed actually, I think, got the tiniest bit better if a player is using Changeling Throne, but only one.
Very
Just because
true.
you can't recur it.
You can't throw out another throne and uniqueness away the first one.
I don't like trashed played on my Changeling Throne on Cruel Mistress, because I'm like, now I want to have a second Changeling Throne in my deck. You're making me want to put another card, even though it's 47 cards. But anyways, back to the game.
Alrighty, looks like we killed that
We have
Mimics.
AJ's Epiphany in hand. That's nice.
We're not scoring a point off of that Troublemaker win, though, because of that Scootaloo flip.
And a nice thing about Changeling Mimics is the taxation continues on until the opponent's next turn.
That is very true. So yeah, that increase on the price of what we assume, I think, right now is Troublemakers, since we're not quite able to tell, that will carry through the turn, even though the Mimics is no longer there.
Also, something I wanted to bring up that I didn't quite say, like Misfire, that's not going to serve too much of a purpose here.
Mm-hmm.
But it does serve a small purpose in very small little ways, which is that it has the immediate ability to draw.
That is very true.
So, like, if you have 2 time loops, you're like, okay, I put this one and this one, and I might need one over the other. And so I'm gonna just draw the other one if this situation arises.
I'll set this Scootaloo, and then I'll set this Cheerly, and I'm gonna hope they'll challenge the Troublemakers in this order. Oh no, they challenged it in the other order. I'll draw the Scootaloo so I can flip the Cheerly.
I believe that problem is 2 score.
I do think so.
So that brings them to 11.
That
if
will
that
bring
be
them
the
to
case.
11 if this double or if this face-off happens. Without any Troublemakers on the board at the moment, things are looking a little grim for our Luna player here. Popping that Cheerily.
Oh, okay. There was not a DFO, I guess.
It looks like it started, I believe, if I saw that correctly.
Oh, he burned the Cheerly.
He burned the Cheerly to end that face-off.
That's interesting.
I'm not sure if that was good or not.
1 point is still scored, though.
That is true. Would it not be 2 for the both confronts?
Oh, yes. So,
Alrighty, so we're looking at 9 points on Pancake side, if we're keeping track of this correctly. Timothy, if we're reading that name at the top of the screen there, is still sitting at 2.
He uses that Twilight.
That's pretty interesting.
And he's
Eccentric.
playing...
We're hitting the bailout again.
He's hitting it, I believe, a little too early. Oh wait, no, he wants to strike the hand, I guess.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we're splitting up.
Though I would probably wait until my opponent drew, and also to get an exhaust for 2 rounds.
I think so. For those who don't know, this Luna main on the right side of our screen here, when it is turned over, you can turn it over. You can pay 1 to turn it over when you discard a card. Your opponent then splits their hand into 2 piles that do not have to be even. It can be 1 and 4 cards if they have 5 cards in hand. It can be 2 and 3. They could put all 5 cards in one side if they wanted to. And then the Luna player will choose one of those 2 piles and banish it. And then the rest goes back to the owner's hand. So you get to see their whole hand, banish a small pile of cards, and you've got a lot of agency in which of those cards you get to banish. So I think it is... I definitely think it's a skill to be able to split up a hand in such a way that you maintain a lot of your options. I think it's I know I frequently, if I'm thinking to myself, I really want this card, I will throw stronger cards into the other pile, even if they're, again, strong cards, just to kind of try to bait the opponent into grabbing one pile so I can have, the card that I need right now. Because I'm like, okay, maybe I'll get more copies of X, Y, and Z that they're banishing now, and I need this other card at the moment, though, so hopefully they'll go for this one pile instead of this other one.
When I see these Remarkables and the Factory Jack, I always think I really would like a Limestone, and I'm not sure if there's a Limestone in this build. Another thing that I've noticed when it comes to Purple Orange is it really struggles to remove a problem friend. That's kind of why I threw in I throw in the Sunset Shimmers.
Okay.
Just so then it's like, okay, a face-off, I'm getting rid of that Thunderlane. I'm getting rid of this card that I really don't like to see.
We're seeing a Magicite come out from our Rainbow player to shove the Time Loop home, and I think that will prevent a confront.
But, yeah, we're seeing one of the big struggles with Purple Orange, and that is that it really doesn't have a way of just going, okay, go away, Thunderlane. I yoink, I Rarity Epiphany, It doesn't have any of those. It's very stuck with what's sitting there.
We did see a Zap flipped away earlier, but
yeah,
we have not had a way to get that back. And very frequently, these kinds of time loop decks will only use 2, maybe even 1 in some cases, 1 copy of Zap. Because once you have it, if you're just flipping it over and over, that frequently leaves you in a very good position. For those who don't know Zap, when it's flipped during a face-off, You may pay 1 to frighten a friend, and you may do that any number of times. So if your opponent's got 4 friends on the board, you can pay 4 AT if you have it when it's flipped, and just wipe all of those, frighten all of those.
I think this gentleman just played that event
We're
to
seeing
just
a
confront
join
a
the
point,
herd.
to get a point.
Just to confront and score. Okay,
That's cool.
That's kind of funny. All right.
So he brings it up to 10, which is a nice number to be at, just because it's like, all right, well, it's not 11. You don't get that AT.
You don't get that extra AT, but I'm definitely threatening a win.
This deficit is really looking rough.
Yeah, this is looking kind of
like,
grim. I do think it's doable, but with the time limit looming and getting closer, it would have to this game would have to pick up pretty quickly, and we'd have to see a lot of godsend kind of draws, a lot of heart of the cards from our Luna player over here.
I'm wondering if Timothy here, he may be an amateur, and I don't mean that in a condescending way. I mean to say that he's not mature in this game. Perhaps somebody may have given him this deck, because I'm seeing a lot of peculiar plays that I don't think a seasoned player may have put out.
That's fair. I think the biggest one is the biggest opportunity for a better play, I think, would have been holding on to at least one of those 2 cheerleads that we've seen. By time looping one of those onto the deck over and over, we could have stopped a lot of our rainbow players scoring by denying them confronts, by keeping troublemakers alive like those mimics, and just denying them the points from winning those face-offs to begin with.
This gentleman, I think, is only scoring 3 points over time. Pancakes. He has 3. Also, Timothy has 3 points, but Pancakes is still only gaining 3 AT.
I can't tell what that troublemaker is, though. It looks like it's some kind of a villain. Yeah, it looks like we're frightening all these here.
Oh, wow. What is that? Oh, it's, oh, wow. And he's paying the 2 AT. That's really rough.
Oh, that is a Sombra.
That is a Sombra.
Sombra villain. There's a villain. It would have frightened all those friends. Upon it uncovering, though, our rainbow player paid 2 AT, which destroyed every friend at that problem with 2 or less power, which was all of those friends.
I think that really seals the game.
I think that was pretty much the definitive play. Our purple-orange player, our Luna player, does still have wreck because of that time loop. That gives him 3 purple and 3 orange power. So he still has access to most of his cards.
So that's 2 points for Pancake, and then I think he's going to wrap it up here.
I think so with that Thunder Lane. So that Thunder Lane just farmed that Sombra. That's 2. That puts him at 12. I think with that Sombra having those power counters on there, that's going to be able to push him over the top to double confront here, unless something pretty crazy happens. We're seeing we're exhausting the Thunder Lane.
Oh, we have a zoned out. Interesting. I really do like this purple-blue farm.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. I like it a lot.
I like how it's just abandoning a lot of the convention.
It kind of just went his own way. He's like, nope, these cards work. These setups. The Sombra worked out well. That Smooze has been sitting there for a while, pretty safely.
Also, the extra security against the extra security against freaking combo is probably a nice luxury.
Very true.
Because originally, One Punch Man, the goal was, really go as fast as possible. Oh, I think, did he lose? Oh, yeah. We had an AJ's Epiphany played on the Thunder Lane, so he wasn't able to win.
So that was exhausted.
Oh, so he didn't get the 2 points then.
Oh,
we just kind of
was that during the... Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. So that's our bad. Yeah, no, that Sombra's still there. I thought I saw that removed. So, yeah, that Epiphany, that Applejack's Epiphany came out 2 cost, correct?
Yeah.
2 cost from our Luna player, and it allows you to choose 2 of the effects from exhausting a character, unexhausting a character, and destroying a resource. So he chose to exhaust the Thunder Lane, giving him that face-off, and unexhaust his time loop, which didn't do much because of the timing on there, but he had to choose it because there were no resources on the board to destroy. Definitely wasn't a negative for him. It just didn't really do a whole heck of a lot. It was mostly for that exhaust on the Thunder Lane. But that definitely bought him time. It denied his opponent points. It denied his Thunder Lane those diligent counters, so very much a worthwhile play. On the other side of the board, we had Twilight Sparkle Zoned Out come out. Purple-blue card. 2 cost, 2 power. Upon entering the board, it pulls a Troublemaker from the owner's deck and puts it into play face up. That Starlight normally has a movement effect upon uncovering, but it does not uncover. It enters face up, so we're just throwing that on the board to, I think, prevent a single face-off, if that were to happen, just so that those friends are all there on the coming turn, so that that Thunder Lane can just try to move up, kill that Sombra, and just end the game on that coming turn. Just to make sure all that pile of friends there on that bottom problem doesn't get shoved home.
Yeah. Again, it's just really not looking good for our purple-orange player. And
We are seeing a confront down there, so that brought us to 11. So
yeah. We have a Scootaloo out that's going to slow the game down a little bit, but it doesn't seem to... It's not really advancing his state. It's just more buying time at this point. What a hefty play when it came to the Zombra. One of the reasons...
that was pretty decisive, I think.
Yeah, one of the reasons why a lot of control players will like play things at home is just so that kind of stuff doesn't happen. It's just like, you know what, it's not worth the point. I'm just going to sit all my stuff back here nice and safe.
I'd rather not score a point this turn than, have potential for something to go wrong, my whole board state to go away, all these friends to explode. So I'll give up a point this turn to ensure that I continue to score for the rest of the game.
I think that might be game because I think he just played a T-Rex Rain.
I think that is a T-Rex Rain Dilemma, which can be confronted by Thunder Lane alone.
Okay,
We're seeing
so
a bailout. That'll stop that confront from happening. Thunder Lane's exhausted. If that T-Rex Rain had been confronted, it would allow him to frighten an opposing friend. Probably our time loop that's sitting at home on Luna's side. And it would have caused a double face-off, which probably would have been the game. But as is, we are just confronting that very bottom problem, scoring a point, and moving on.
Another unfortunate thing about purple-orange is that it has trouble creeping back up because it essentially has to farm. It doesn't have photo finishes.
It's
It's
like we're
really
just calling it.
yeah,
I
we're
think
just
our
calling
Luna
it.
player is
He's just like,
he's
okay,
thinking
this
that he
is
can't come
really
back
not
from this.
working out. And this Walking Nightmare is still nothing to scoff at, and overall, I think he played it fairly well. We just saw a few misplays and a few questionable plays, I think.
Yeah, there were some decisions that were not wrong or not really right. They were just kind of like, okay, worth thinking about. The other one was worth considering. I do really think the only play that I just disagreed with was dropping those Cheerleys onto the board. When those are flipped, they can just end a face-off. He would have been able to just do that over and over with those time loops. A lot of people have probably run into that situation before. Somebody just puts time loop or uses time loop to put that Cheerly on top of the deck over and over and over, and you just can't break through their troublemakers, and then they just stall you till they win, basically.
Yeah, and also, just to touch on something, and perhaps I was a bit presumptuous in assuming the orange-purple player was an amateur, so I apologize for that. Because I don't know. And he was also not quite getting the resources he really wanted.
That is true. He was getting a lot of copies of the same thing.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, I can't use this right now. I can't use this right now. He wasn't getting a lot of troublemakers.
That's very true.
And the ones that he did play, unfortunately, would just get overlapped or
got
just
eaten
stomped.
immediately.
He was only able to kind of mitigate the damage. He wasn't able to